So the question I just got is, how is quarantine going? Oh, it's going great. I mean, I'm doing just fine. I have nothing but time, and in this time, I can just. I mean, what does it look like I'm wrong? I feel like I'm great. I don't feel like anything's wrong. Like, I feel like coffee. Where's my bird, kids? Hey, I mean, I've got nothing but time. No, it's all in my hair. No, but seriously, how's quarantine going? It's going good. As in the best that we can do. All we can do is do what we can do. And that's just me being present with friends and family. And working on my book. I'm working on content. And I'm working on mastering my coffee drinking skills. If I didn't start doing speeches, what would I be doing now? I don't know. My life was a mess. There's a lot of struggles, a lot of hurts, a lot of stupid choices. But if I would have cut through all of that and, maybe never started going down the wrong path, I would have probably, I would have loved to have been a photographer for the National Geographic. I always say I love animals, I love traveling, I love videography and photography. So that would be something that I would love to do. Jacob, who does a lot of our behind the scenes stuff, edits a lot of our videos, does a lot of cool content creation for us and production and just directing. He's a phenomenal photographer, and he wouldn't say he is, but he's really good. And so I love him because he's able to take stuff and master it. I always say, hey, Jake, I need a Jacob special, right? And he knows that means that I need those extra bells and whistles on this piece of content or this video or this photo, and he's really good at it. So I'm vicariously living my lifetime original dream through him. So it is what it is. It's why we got this new camera, and I don't think he's ever going to let me ever take it on the road with me by myself.
Nope.
Probably wise. We have some good cameras that aren't quite this one because I will break everything. Okay. So, I got a question here. What's my favorite Bible verse? And, that's a great question. I don't ever, with Your Life Speaks and the school assemblies and when we're doing corporate events or just public schools, I'm really guarded, and we've been really intentional because we know the message is powerful. And so I don't always ever just throw my faith on anybody. I try to let my life speak. But the question is what's my favorite Bible verse? The Bible is a huge part of my journey. God's a huge part of my story. And, there's so many verses out there that you can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. He works all things together, that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. There's a lot of verses that have been a huge guiding for me. But I think in general for me, it's just my relationship with God who's helped me through so many dark times in my life. Throughout my journey when the wreck happened and Priscilla's family forgave me, God began to really intersect my life. He met some of my most stupid decisions. And a cool story that a lot of people don't know that I don't ever push faith or my beliefs on anybody. I feel like my life should be just a living light that people can find hope, that can find who God is when I'm in the schools. But, how this all began, another question I got is, how did I get started speaking and what would I be doing if I wasn't speaking? But I was in prison and had a lot of time to reflect and to grow. And I started traveling and speaking in areas, and they started allowing me to leave the prison to speak. And so when we were traveling and speaking, right before I came home, I was going to go to Ball State University. Right before I got released, it was one of our last big events before I got to come home and begin this journey on my own. And literally the night before we were supposed to go to Ball State, and I was going to do this big, huge speech in front of tons and tons and tons of people, some dude jumped the flipping fence. He escaped. And when you escape, they lock the whole prison down. And so I wasn't gonna get to do this event. And I was super heartbroken. I was super sad. Like I was all up in my feelings, y'all. Like I was super like I was really heartbroken. And the people in the prison, they didn't really. The word would be is they. I wasn't sometimes, people's favorite. I was really quiet in my own lane, but I was getting to do opportunities that they weren't getting to do. And there would always be a lot of jealousy and a lot of, just jealousy, right? Because why was I getting to go out and to speak, even though I was in prison and they weren't? And I always say God's favor ain't always fair. And but when this happened and they locked the prison down, they were all razzing me and clowning me. Oh, it doesn't like your Harmon, you're not going. You might as well stay in your bunk, because when you get locked down, that literally we all just stay on our bunks and we're in our sweatsuits and like there's no movement. It's almost like you're quarantined, right? Literally, like it's almost like you're just kind of like locked down to your bunk. And I was really heartbroken because this was going to Ball State. It was going to be amazing. It was going to be awesome. And then the dude jumped the fence. And as I was sitting there that morning, really sad, and again, going back to this part of my faith, I was like, you know what, God, this is super sad. I know you did so many amazing things in this journey, but I was kind of in that, like, what have you done for me lately? I forgot about like all that he had brought me through in the moment. And it was like, what have you done for me right here, right now? Which is a terrible perspective always to live in. I think we're so caught up in the moment. We forget of everything that we've came through. And literally I had like this voice in my heart, like, get dressed, Nathan. Like, get dressed. I was like, no, I'm not getting dressed. Like, if this voice that I really felt like God impressed in my heart, that's like, where's your faith? Put on your clothes and act like you're going to go to Ball State. And so they're all laying in the bunks, all on lockdown. And here I'm getting dressed because I would put on street clothes before I would leave. And I'm getting clowned on. Harmon, what are you doing? You're not going anywhere. We're all locked down. Da, 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 da. And I'm just getting made fun of, picked on. You can use the word bullying, but really just getting clowned on. And I remember saying, like, God, if you don't catch this, if this guy doesn't get caught, like, we're not leaving, right? And here I am, and like literally I had like this thought, like, where's your faith? Act like in the moment, like God can still move mountains, right? And right before it was like the deadline before I had to leave, the intercom system came on. I said, Harmon, if you're not dressed, you're not going because we're out of time. But if you are dressed, we just caught this dude an hour ago and we got the green light to take you. And dude, it was crazy. So here I am now, like everyone's looking at me like in awe, like what the heck just happened? Like they caught the dude. Here's this radical Nate Harmon kid that's leaving in street clothes that always talks to us about who God is. And then boom, we went to Ball State. And it was through that talk. It's through that talk that you're even watching me right now. Because it was that talk was the first time that somebody recorded me speaking. And from Ball State, when I got released, I asked for the footage. And we created our first promotional video, and that landed me school number 1. And school number 1 snowballed into everything that we're doing now. And as I'm sitting in this room right now, talking to you, the reason that you found this page, this channel, this content of Your Life Speaks, take control of your life, hard work works, make good choices, control what you can control, communication, community, everything that I talk to you about, skydive that thing. It's all because of when I was in prison, and I just began to really say, all right, God, I believe, I want to know, help me. And he began to help me grow. So I don't ever really share that a lot of times. I don't force that on people when I'm doing the school assemblies. But from behind the scenes, because this is like behind the scenes moments, yeah, man, God's a huge part of the journey, a huge part of the story. And I would not be doing anything if it wasn't for him. So I guess the verse, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, would be a pretty cool verse to hang on to, because I really do believe that you can do all things, man. Go get it. There's never a wrong time to do what's right. So, hey, Q&A session. I love you guys. Bye.